It'll never succeed because you know what? The Affordable Care Act's a lifesaver. And the reason why Republicans can't show up at their own town hall meetings is because their constituents are coming to tell them quite clearly the Affordable Care Act saved my life.
That's Tom Perez, head of the DNC, talking about the new plan to take away Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and put in something new. Karen Travers is at the White House. Good morning, ABC News correspondent Karen Travers.
Good morning. This is the beginning of what will probably be a very long, contentious, drag-out process because House Republicans have put out this plan. The White House says that they had an active role in it. The president tweeted that it's our wonderful new health care bill. But there is a lot of grumbling already. It's only been 12 hours from some conservative senators and some moderate senators, kind of all over the board senators right now. And I think it just shows what a tricky process this is going to be. If they can get this through the House, there's no guarantee of what happens when it goes to the Senate as is.
Explain to me, Karen Travers, the thinking behind putting out the travel ban and the Affordable Care Act repeal within hours of each other.
I wish I could say there was some grand strategy. We knew that the House Republicans were going to do the health care plan. The White House has wanted to get this travel ban in place for some time, and this has certainly been something they've been working on for weeks. And there was all that wiretapping headlines. I mean, it was a really tough weekend for the White House staff trying to figure out how to respond to what the president had tweeted on Saturday morning about the wiretaps. They will all say, though, that the timing of this was not in any way to distract from headlines, but it was about the appropriate time to do implementation.
Yeah, Republicans, some have said it's going too far. Others are saying, what, it hasn't gone far enough? So it seems like Republicans can't agree on how to fix this. How can the rest of us agree?
On the Affordable Care Act?
Yeah.
No, certainly. I mean, this is where it's interesting. You've got 20 million Americans who now have coverage under the Affordable Care Act. That's not 20 million Democrats. And they're not just coming from Democratic blue states. There are Republicans who have coverage now. So Republican lawmakers are hearing it from them of, we don't want changes. We want to keep this in place. Then Democrats are also hearing, though, we want our premiums to go down. There's just a lot of feedback coming into congressional offices. And you've got a lot of competing interests for Republican leadership to worry about. They've got a couple tricky spots, like, potholes in the road of making sure conservatives are on board and not raising issues about the cost or putting in place new potential federal entitlement plans. And then you have moderates who are really worried about the coverage issue. So Paul Ryan's got a tough job on this. But the president, I love this in this tweet, he said, our wonderful new health care bill is now out for review and negotiation. The art of the deal, perhaps, coming to health care.
Well, this is a long way from what he said on the campaign trail, is that he was going to replace it and everybody was going to be covered and it was going to cost less and we were going to spend less.
And, repeal it on day one, replace it as quickly as possible. He wants more coverage, less cost. I mean, some really big, broad brushstrokes there. But then I think we come back to this quote from a week and a half ago where the president said, who realized how complicated this issue could be. And, of course, the resounding response in Washington was everybody realized how complicated this issue is. It's very, very big and tricky.
Karen, let me ask you real quickly about this Saturday morning tweet that has garnered so much attention about the wiretap. What is the staff saying now? Are they stopped commenting? Where does this tweet go from here?
Here's where things stand. The White House line on this is that the president sees things and reads things and knows things that we don't, and that he had reason to say that and tweet that. Asked specifically, about the details of it, the White House continued to just say the tweet speaks for itself, which, as we noted, could be a phrase that could be applied to many things around the Trump White House. The tweet speaks for itself.
Karen Travers, ABC News White House correspondent. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
725, Big 550 KTRS. We'll do numbers. We'll do that next. Let me tell you about the cottage.